we're making Ejjeh Ma Baqdunis. That's parsley omelets. And we are heating the pan right now. And while it's heating, I want to show you my grandmother's Ejjeh pan. Look how old this is. It's from Aleppo. And I treasure it. In my kitchen today is an antique. As you can see, it's pretty worn. But those wonderful copper bottom pockets look terrific. They look almost like the day she used it. At any rate, what I'm using today is a more modern version. And the reason I'm using this is I think that there may be people throughout the country who are not able to get those genuine Middle Eastern Ejjeh pans. So I'm thinking you might want to try this. It's an Ejjeh pan. It's a Danish little pancake pan. However, I thought it was perfect for our purposes. You can get it at Williams-Sonoma. You can get it at Sur La Table. Any good kitchen store will have one of these. So I am heating the pan, and what I'm going to do right now is I am going to take a little bit of oil and put them in each of the indentations. Just a bit. As you can see, it's hardly anything. And as you go on with further batches, you'll probably need even less. So while that's heating, I want to tell you a bit about the batter. The batter, it consists, I call it a batter, it's an omelet mix, and they are 6 eggs, allspice, salt, peppermint, chopped parsley, chopped onions, and we are letting them, also 2 garlic cloves which have been crushed. I prefer them to mince because I don't want to bite into the garlic, and it really scents the little omelets so well. And I do it about an hour in advance so that the eggs have that wonderful flavor, that Middle Eastern flavor with the garlic and the mint. That is signature Aleppo. Anyway, it looks like the pan is heating, and I'm going to try a drop, just a drop. It's sizzling, so that means I'm okay. I'm ready to go here. So I'm going to take a bit in my spoon, try to get as much of the parsley and onions as possible, and put it in there. Boy, I have so many memories of these little omelets. Even when Sitto would go on a picnic, she'd take along these little Ejjehs for us, and I remember how I loved them. Okay, we're filling these pans up, and now we're waiting for them to cook. And the other thing I wanted to point out was I discovered that if I use 2 fondue forks, I can manage these little Ejjehs, parsley omelets, very well. I remember that Sitto later on would take a spoon in her fingers and turn it over, and I always used to remark when I was little, Sitto, you'll burn your hands. She'd say no, you know, in Arabic, and it was really cute. And now today I find that I'm being reprimanded by my own grandchildren. Sitto, you'll burn your hands. How are you doing that? And I guess it's just years in the kitchen. Your fingers kind of get used to the heat. We've got a medium heat on here, just so you know. I am going to show you what it is right there. And so that should cook them very nicely. The whole idea is we want that egg mixture. You see how wet it is in here? We want that to cook. And so we're having them simmer along here in the oil. They're not very oily when they're finished. You'll find that they are very light and fluffy and not greasy. And I'm wondering too, I remember when Sitto used this pan, I would see lots of oil in it, but they never seemed oily when they were cooking because of course there was no oil in the actual mixture. So what I do is, as it's cooking, I might take my little fondue fork and kind of tilt them a little sideways. It was kind of a trick I learned so that if that wet mixture on the very top is not cooking, it kind of helps it along a bit. Not too long. I would say maybe this is a 5-minute cook. It's not hard and it's not long, and it's well worth the effort. This one looks like I got a little too generous with the filling, but that's okay. There are no wrong ways to make these little omelets. They are the greatest. And I wish you could be here in the kitchen with me right now. You would smell the marvelous garlic and mint and onion coming through, wafting through the kitchen. Okay, I'm wondering here whether we can try this guy here in the middle and turn him over. Here we go. There you have it. Simple, right? These fondue forks are a blessing. Here's another one. And don't worry if some of it slips out. It'll connect with the rest of the omelet when you turn it over. Here we go. I just think this is fantastic. I love this for lunch. And you know, every once in a while you want a meatless day. This is perfect. Okay. One more turn. This is our most generous one right here. And nearby, what I've done is I've got a dish with paper toweling on it, which I've made an earlier batch, as you can see. And I am going to put these on there to drain. But there's so little grease. If I can turn one, you'll see there's hardly any. So I think they passed the test as far as that goes. And we can turn them and look at them, and you can see they're pretty well cooked. The other thing I would recommend, when I chop the onions, I chop them fine. And I remember Sitto did that as well. She would make the cut finer because otherwise you're biting into the onion. Some people might like that. It depends on how you prefer. And here we have it. They look pretty cooked. I'm going to turn off my heat. And I'm going to pick them up with my fondue fork and put them here. If you can see that on the plate here. And we are ready to make sandwiches. I hope you try these. They are so easy, delicious, and genuine Aleppo omelets. Thanks for watching.